the really interesting and the really mysterious ones are the spate of killings in Pakistan.
Right.
Uh, and I think the numbers are around 2 dozen over the last year or so.
I
Uh,
heard about 30 already.
yeah, so but you could go back because the first, as far as I remember, the first
Hmm.
guy who was actually bummed off in a very mysterious way happened way back in 2013, when
Okay.
there was no Doval, there was no Modi, none of these guys was there. These
Hmm.
guys did not come into the central government. Uh, so I'm talking about 2013.
Right.
There was this guy, I believe if I remember correctly, his name is Khalid Bashir. He was supposed to be one of the top henchmen of Hafiz Saeed, his
Right.
bodyguard, and very close to him and all. And suddenly, this guy got kidnapped and he disappeared, and then his dead body was found. Uh, so,
Hmm.
so that was the first instance of one of these guys getting bumped off. Over the years, there's been an odd case here and there. Again, we don't know what exactly was behind it, whether there was some kind of internecine warfare between groups, whether there was some kind of a power struggle within the group, whether there was somebody. Look, all these groups are only despicables who are members of it, right? No
True.
normal, decent human being will ever become a member of a jihadist terrorist organization, right?
Right.
You have to be depraved kind of a character to become part of
Absolutely.
these these guys. Uh, and it's quite possible that two people might not have be getting along with each other. There are groups, there are subgroups, all kinds of things, and one might have decided that he's going to bump off somebody else. So that is a possibility.
Right.
There is a possibility that some of these guys might be going rogue. They might be doing their own thing. They might be wanting to break the chains of slavery, as they are called by Imran Khan, of
Hmm.
the Pakistani deep state. And they might be going, they might have gone rogue, and they are being taken out. We don't know. We don't
True.
have enough information. But so, like
Hmm.
I said, this is purely speculation. In some cases, it could be maybe Indian or some other intelligence agency funding it. Uh,
Right.
in some cases, it could just be the Pakistanis doing this because they want to start cleaning up some of this mess. And most of these guys, they are not the top guys, they are not the most well-known fellows, but they are in some ways the linchpin of the organization. They
Hmm.
are the middle rung leaders. And
Right.
in fact, if you really want to damage an organization seriously, then it's pointless getting rid of the guys right at the bottom. They are replaceable. They are pawns, right?
Hmm.
It's even counterproductive to get rid of the top guys, because the top guys uh, don't really, they have a certain value, definitely, but decapitation of the top leadership doesn't necessarily lead to any loss of firepower as far as an organization is concerned.
Also,
It
they're
is when
that much more difficult to target.
Yeah, it's when the middle rung, the guys who are really controlling the things, who are running your media operations, the guys who are running your recruitment, the guys who are running your training, the gun running,
Hmm.
the works, right? The real planners, the Zarar Shahs and the Lakhvis, and this low life Sajid Mir type of guys. It's when
Right.
you go after these guys and you start, you know, chopping their heads off, that actually starts affecting the effectiveness of an organization. Uh,
Hmm.
that's my analysis. There are people who would probably disagree with me on that. Uh,
Yes.
but this is the level of people who are now being taken out in many ways. In some cases, some of them are supposed to have retired, uh,
Okay.
but it's difficult to say what exactly is behind it. But obviously, there is something behind it, because if one, two, five, six cases, you can say that it's coincidence. But when it
Right.
happens, my information is about 2 dozen, give or take a few. Yours is almost
Hmm.
30 people. That's a lot of coincidence. That kind of
Absolutely.
coincidence
Yes.
doesn't normally happen.
Hmm. And they're all linked to some event or the other in India as well. But then I suppose that's part of the I mean, any big terrorist there would be in some way
Yeah,
linked to India logistics.
yeah. So because they're number one, they're linked to one of the terrorist organizations in Pakistan, and number
Mm-hmm.
two, in many cases, they are linked to uh, a, a relatively recent operation which they might have carried out, which caused a lot of casualties. Now,
Right.
which is why it one wonders, is this some kind of a CBM taking place? That this is one of the metrics that you get rid of. Here is this skill list, which you tell the Pakistanis that look, if you're genuinely serious about moving forward, then you deliver on this. And the Pakistanis are
Mm-hmm.
known to doing stuff like this. If you could
Right.
capture the former Taliban ambassador and hand him over to the Americans and send him to Guantanamo, uh,
Right.
what's one of these low lives? They're
True.
expendable
True.
commodities. They've done it earlier. They've done it with people like the Lashkar-e-Jhangvi chief. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
what is that guy's name? Malik Ishaq.
Mm-hmm.
He, along with one of his closest lieutenants, his entire family, Malik Ishaq, his lieutenant's entire family, about 15 people were bumped off in one night in cold blood. They
Mm-hmm.
claimed that it was a police encounter. Standard formulation that we were taking these guys somewhere. You're taking somebody at 12 o'clock in the night somewhere, right? And
Mm-hmm.
then their associates tried attacked the convoy, tried to free them, and in that shootout, these guys died. 15 of them died in a shootout. If you believe that, you'll believe, in fairy tales, and you'll believe in everything. But that's the
Absolutely.
fairy tale. But they bumped off Malik Ishaq. Malik Ishaq was one of their, hitmen, death squad guys
Mm-hmm.
who was there. So they've been doing something like this in the past. So it's again pure speculation. Is some kind of a kill list being given to the Pakistanis and said that, look, if you deliver on this, then this is a proof of your bona fides that you're actually interested in starting a process of normalization.